Hey guys, hi. So every language has uniqueness and JavaScript and the most widely used programming language is no different. So in this video, we are going to discuss about JavaScript generic optimization technique that will help you to better code. And falling is just not your response when you come all over them. So let's get started with this video. 7 tricks to make your JavaScript life better. If the defined value is null or undefined, only use the fallback values. So as you can see in this also, we have an empty object. We first check okay whether name is defined or not, then only we define the username. But instead of writing like this, of this is like you can directly use a one-liner that is the enormous function, and that is good for go. If you can see here, just to check which particular day it is, on the base of day we are using a switch case, and on the base of that we are giving the values for it. But there is a short method for it, and then what we do on particular days, we directly we directly go into that particular key of what particular day we need, and then we get the particular result. So the next thing which we are going to talk about is called calls to function. So you can also use the binary operator to decide which function to call based on conditions. So I give you one following example. So if you want to call a multiple function by, let's say, uh, via a binary operator or something. So let's say you define two functions here. So it can be function 1 and function 2. But now what happens is, let's say if you want to define it by a condition, right? So instead of writing like this or giving a directly function or giving directly to function of that particular condition, let's say this function 1 runs on that particular condition and function 2 runs on that particular condition. Instead of writing like that, there's a shorter way to do that. And instead of writing like this, you can write a short method that basically defines, okay, once the condition is true, then only run the following conditions. The next thing which we are going to talk about is called multiple string checks. So let's show you an example of this. So there are scenario where it's popular that you need to check that if a string is equal to one of the multiple values, which can really become multiple irritating once you have a very large set of string which you want to check every time. But luckily, JavaScript has a short method for it with that string. What this test function does is it does and rejects test and directly tells, okay, that this test has been successful, and you directly give the regex function here, rejects string here, and yeah, it gives you a bool whether the test is successful or not. With but continuing to that, I have a few more points. But let's say for off conditions in that same variant. So if we see one more example here, so we have an array of elements which we want to check. So instead, what we do is we first check okay, and we directly do a for loop, and then we check okay that whether that element is equal to that or not, and then only we return something. But no, instead of doing this lengthy method, we can come up with a shorty method which directly checks with the element of each array. The element will be basically this, and few more. And lastly, let's say if you have a condition for in, okay, so let's see an example for in. So let's say if you have an object here, and you directly extract out the keys here in the lengthy method, and then what you do is you directly loop over the element via the index one by one, and you extract the key and values. But instead of doing that directly, you can use a for loop here, and you can directly use the in operator inside the expression itself. And by this, the thing is you directly get the key of it. Instead of in the top one which you see, you directly do via an index, and which was not the correct method. You directly get the key from the in, and you can directly access it. So second last is nothing but the false checks which I wanted to discuss. So let's say we have a following example where you want to check whether that value which we are sending is falsy by doing a check of whether that value is a null or is a undefined or is a nan everything. But don't you think this is actually a wrong way to do that? So to come up with this, we have a very shortly method here which I'm going to define here. As you can see, you can directly do a false value, and you can automatically check for all of this at one shot by using this. Just have come across alternative operator as a JavaScript developer, right? It's an excellent method for writing concise if-else statement. You can, however, use it to write coincide code and even change it to check multiple conditions. So if you go with this example, as you can see, you directly check each value one by one, one by one, one by one. But so which actually works exactly the same, and it checks the same method which you see, same things at the top also, and the same thing which you can see on line number 5 and line number 15, and works as the same. That's all, folks. If you, I hope you liked it. If you really want to have more of it, you can just comment below and let me know. I will try to make more of videos like this. See you in my next video. Bye.